This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Thank you, David. Welcome to DBL. We've got a special show for you all because we're going to do things just a little differently. We're going to look back at some of our most talked about moments, okay?
These are some of my favorite shows.
I know.
I love looking back and I'm like, wow.
And it's going to be even more interesting this time around because we have no teleprompter.
Oh.
So
I was trying to make a little cover, but hey.
We're going to have to wing it. Yes, we're going to be very transparent per usual. So, okay, let me see where we're at. Good one,
So
Sam.
far off to a booming start.
Okay. One of our favorite moments here on DBL was when a story about that was of course on my expense, Stop It Al, where we discussed whether or not we'd be okay with seeing our significant other hook up with someone else on their job. Yeah, I wouldn't want to see my husband. I know it would be his job. It's your profession, like as an actor, to have like chemistry in different scenes. But I wouldn't want to see him making out with different actresses, gorgeous actresses, constantly.
No matter what that check is looking like?
No matter what that check is looking like.
Sam, stop.
Okay.
Stop it.
I heard Lindsey snicker. Lindsey, would you want to see Colin Lindsey hooking up with other women?
No, I mean, I watch this, a lot of actors and say they don't watch each other's films, and then I watch scenes that are like so believable to me. And then you have cases like with Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt who end up getting together after the movie. So I would be terrified of my husband, especially with somebody who's as amazing as some of the actresses that are famous now, at least how they look in magazines and stuff. That would be very frustrating to me. And Al, the check would be nice, but you know, it still would be frustrating.
Yeah, frustrating. Add one more zero. We'll see how frustrating it is.
You know the arguments they got in afterwards. She's like, so you prefer blondes or you prefer brunettes or you like big lips?
If Al's gonna act like that, if his girl was kissing Idris Elba, he would be thrilled if there was an extra zero on the check.
I would just hold the check right up to the TV screen, see if I can see through it. I'd be looking right at that check, player.
Jeff, you're pretty traditional. Would you like to see Jordan making out with dudes left and right?
If that was her job before
It wouldn't bother you? It wouldn't bother you?
He's a professional.
They're acting.
What?
I don't believe Jeff.
What am I supposed to do?
Minute. Of course you're not going to do anything.
What do you want her to say? Pull back, I'm married in real life in the movie? Like
I'm
that
just
would
looking for you to be a little bit honest right now.
He is.
I am being honest. If I didn't know her, like my wife tells me now, don't take jobs where you have a sexual thing with somebody.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
So
so
if
she
you
does-
were offered
okay.
a huge movie.
I would totally do it.
Okay, got it.
I noticed
Erica
a
needs to be in the
difference.
hot seat.
Yeah.
I know. Erica, would you be okay with your Anthony
That's a good
making out
question.
with girls if it was his job as an actor?
If it was his job.
Erica.
Oh, look who's
If
an
it-
adult here, Sam.
If it was his job, that's how we pay our mortgage. Okay, let's
What?
go.
How am I
Yes.
the only one that would bother me? Would I allow Mark to do it? Yes. Would it bother me? Yes.
Well, it can
But we're all
bother
on
you,
the same
but
page.
Yeah, but nobody said it would bother them.
I didn't say it wouldn't bother me.
you asked,
me. I
would
wouldn't
it
like
be
to see it.
okay
You know
for
what
my
bothers
husband
me?
to do
Us
his
Would it
not
job?
bother
getting
you?
to
Would it
this
bother
next
you?
story.
Well,
That's what bothers
I wouldn't
me.
be happy about it, but
I'm telling
hey,
you.
is our mortgage paid?
Well, this story is going to pay our mortgage, Erica. It's got us talking about celebrities running for office. That's right, and obviously it's not a new concept. But I draw the line at a lot of actors like The Rock thinking they can be president. Like, let's slow down, even though I love The Rock. Take a look. I don't see how it's a good idea to give one of the maybe the most powerful position in the world, Erica, to somebody that has no experience in that field whatsoever. There is no other field where this would even be a conversation. And I think that it's really, we think it's funny. We talk about The Rock, Matthew McConaughey, I like his movies, blah, blah, blah. But when something like a pandemic hits, something like when we're talking about abortion or gun rights, we need to have people that understand the system. They might be boring, but you know what? I want my politician to be a nerd about science. I want them to be a nerd about political process. I don't want them on the red carpet. I need you to be ready when everything hits the
But
fan.
there's some people, Al, who will say, and Erica, please help me, they don't want politics anymore. They want those dirty politicians out
Yeah, they feel
of
like
D.C.
They feel like that all the politicians right now are in the pocket of somebody else. So either they're in the pocket of the NRA or in the pocket of some other lobbyist.
I'd agree
So
with that.
therefore, they don't trust them. Erica?
Well, I think that that's a very broad brush to put on every politician. I know that almost all of us on this panel know someone who has dedicated their entire lives with the best intentions in order to make their community a better place and possibly the entire country one day. So I don't believe that every politician is dirty. I do think that we do have corruption in our system that needs to be addressed. But ultimately, it's interesting that we would talk about how dirty politicians are and bring someone in with absolutely no political background in the past to run this country, and we didn't see that being an issue in some capacity of how everything was thrown up in the air. So I just think we need to be careful about just broadening that broad stroke.
No, I agree
And just
with
to
you.
put a button on Erica's point, I think the reason that we don't hear about these people that dedicate their lives is because it's boring. We don't want to read about that. We don't want to read about a community organizer or somebody that volunteers their time, like Erica Cobb. That Erica could be floating on a floaty in her pool, but she's with kids. She doesn't have a pool, but her theoretical pool. But she's with kids that are in danger every day,
I know.
voluntarily. But there's no stories about that.
Right.
And so we don't hear about the good ones.
It's true, Erica. Your dedication to CASA is so admirable.
Yeah.
I do very little compared to what most people are doing, and I think that, you know, we just have to, it can't always be gloom and doom. Like, there are people who are doing amazing things in this world.
Court-appointed special advocates, right?
Yes.
Check it out. That's what Erica's a part of. It's incredible.
Absolutely. Well, it's no secret that it's been hard for everyone to have to work from home for the past year. Well, here's a look at how it was for us trying to work from home as hosts. Let's check it out.
Listen, I'm just trying to lay low because I don't get that. Like, I got how many texts I got last night? Like, oh my God, is it gonna snow? I'm like, that's a real news story. It's truly gonna snow.
Lindsey,
So,
Lindsey, reach behind you and get the Farmer's Almanac.
Yeah, check out. I
and
think
figure out the
to
last
the
time this
left.
happened.
To the left, Liz. There we go. She's always
okay, got it. It'll stop on Tuesday.
Lindsey, how you feeling? You okay?
Well, I want to let you guys know that I left the library since I was shamed my entire life away yesterday for being in the library.
Where are you, in the basement of the Y
So now
right
I'm at
now?
the stairs.
What are you doing?
She keeps moving. She is in the witness protection. She never stays in the same area.
And I just talk about, like, oh man, am I disconnected?
No, we hear you.
Man, I was just getting into that.
No, we hear
Hold on.
you. We hear you.
We hear you.
Jeff, oh man, he can't hear us. Oh man. Huh. Meanwhile. Oh, he's back. Jeff, go. We were here. We could hear everything you said. Go.
We could hear everything you said. Go.
You could, no, now I'm on speaker. It's not in my earpiece. I was about to give a beautiful sentiment and something happened.
No, Jeff. Aw. Why do I hear myself
Your life.
I hear myself echoing.
Because you're on speaker. I got to get out of here. They got to fix me up.
This is weird. This is totally weird.
We got the future little Beebs right here. Say hi, buddy. Right on cue. We were talking about Beebs, and he just knew, and he came up.
Lawson, did you hear the song? Was Lawson jamming out to the Bieber song?
Last night I was playing it, and then we had to go to bed, and he's like, Dad, can we play more songs? So I played it a couple times last night. Listen, let's be honest. Okay, buddy, sorry, you could go. You good, buddy?
Oh, I love him.
What a cutie.
It was I can't believe, listen, shout out to everybody at DBL for making that work. From one host up here to going to 2 to 3, now we're back to 4. So very lucky we made it through that pandemic with our job. We're very fortunate.
We really are. And the people behind the scenes here, they don't get enough credit.
Yes.
The way they made it work.
Seamless.
Yeah, we are just absolutely in debt to you all.
Y'all miss my pink palace, though.
Oh, Erica, I know.
Yeah, I know. Everybody was really loving that. Everybody, 100% approval.
Okay, so we love looking at crazy studies like this poll that showed most men think they can fight off an animal like a goose. Jeff and Al were overly confident, if you ask me. Take a look.
Let's take the goose, because there's a lot of them. I feel like I could take a goose.
Yeah.
Could you?
Especially if one chases your kid. Yeah, they don't have any teeth, Tori. First of all, this conversation
Yes, they do have teeth.
But you just grab its long
Goose
neck.
don't have teeth. Geese, whatever.
Geese
Yeah, they have little teeth.
Tiny, sharp,
It's not about to take me out.
razor-sharp teeth.
Would you be able to take it if it was running after Sophie?
I could take any animal if it was running after my kid.
No, that's what you say. Do you know how big an elephant is, Tiger?
Okay, not
a
an
Great
elephant
Dane?
or a tiger, but I could take on.
Have you seen an English Mastiff?
I would do what I would have to do to save my child. That's a damn right thought.
Yeah, first of all, that was a saying you should have been saying on the porch in the 1800s. You're damn right. No, that's not a thing. Anything, I think I can take the medium-sized dog and the small. First of all, this is a conversation that should be happening in a cloudy car. But I think I can take a dog and a goose, Jeff.
Yeah, I could too.
I really sometimes, Erica, do you forget that we're on TV sometimes? It sounds so corny, but like we'll just be talking and be like, oh, we're on camera right now. But
well, because we have these conversations off camera.
Yes.
That's the reason why we forget we're on camera. But I would like to defend Great Danes as a former Great Dane owner.
I remember.
They are gentle giants, okay?
The big dogs always are. No,
be
geese are
honest.
not gentle.
Okay, I don't want anybody to go up to a geese and hurt
so
themselves.
It's not gentle.
But I go to the park near here all the time, and the geese are so sweet.
Because you're in your car in the parking lot.
No, I get quite close.
Walk up on them, homie, see what happens.
I get quite
They're
close.
also a nuisance.
They are.
Coming up on DBL, we speak to a man who has worked for the past 3 decades to help members of the KKK escape the Klan. It's a story you do not want to miss. Stay with us. DBL is your daytime destination.
Does this feel good?
This lifted my spirits. We're chatting with the stars.
One of the highlights of my life.
To turn up the notch on that.
It is spectacular.
Thank you.
And talking about what everyone is talking about.
I want to set the record straight.
I feel like I'm going to offend somebody here.
I'm in so much trouble.
This is nonsense.
Al's not lying.
What?
Yes! Yes!
DBL is all new every day.
Welcome back to DBL. For more than 30 years, Daryl Davis has befriended members of the KKK in hopes of getting them to quit the Klan. But how does he do it? We spoke with him earlier in today's DBL Spotlight. Warning, some of the images you're about to see may be triggering. Daryl, welcome to DBL. It is definitely our pleasure. Your first interaction with a Klan member was at a bar. So he approached you because he wanted to talk to you about your music. You're also an accomplished musician, and we'll get to that later. But after he told you he was a Klan member, why did you feel the need to continue to talk to him?
I first questioned myself as to why I was sitting at a table with a Klan member, knowing as much as I do about the Klan. But the man was very respectful, very kind, very friendly. And so I accommodated him. You know, I was raised to treat others as I want to be treated. And he, showed me no ill will. He went contrary to what I know about the Klan and all the things that I had, learned about them or perceived about them. he did not quite fit that stereotype.
Now, Daryl, I'm very familiar with your story. Thank you so much for being on the show. I'm a huge fan, if that's what you call it. I think you're going to be great for America. You've converted over 200 KKK members, right? And one very specifically, your first one, they give you their KKK robes often. The very first time someone gave you their robe, there was a talk in a car, and then after that car ride, you received his robe. What happened in that car ride?
You have to meet somebody where they are. So this Klansman, he was an exalted cyclops, which means district leader. And we got on the topic of crime, and he made mention of something that I'd heard a million times, that all black people have a gene within us that makes us violent. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You all have this gene, that makes you that way. And I said, listen, man, I'm as black as anybody you've ever seen. I have never done a carjacking or a drive-by. How do you explain that? This guy did not hesitate and think about it. He answered me like that. He said, your gene is latent. It hasn't come out yet. How do you argue with somebody that far out? I couldn't even grab onto that and chew on it, So I said, well, all white people have a gene within them that makes them a serial killer. And he was like, well, explain that. I said, well, name me 3 black serial killers. He couldn't do it. I said, Charles Manson, Jeffrey Dahmer, Henry Lee Lucas, John Wayne Gacy, Ted Bundy, David Berkowitz, son of Sam, Albert DeSalvo, the Boston Strangler. I said, son, they're all white. You're a serial killer. He said, Daryl, I've never killed anybody. I said, your gene is latent, hasn't come out yet. He goes, well, that's stupid. I said, well, duh, yeah, it is stupid. But it's no more stupid for me to say that about you than what you said about me.
Brilliant.
And he got very, very quiet. And then it wasn't but a few months after that he quit the Klan based on that dumb conversation.
Jeff said that you have over 200 robes. Is there like a room or a closet in your house you have to give somebody a heads up before they go into?
They're using, yeah, well, you laugh, but yeah, that was true a while back. So now I keep most of the robes locked up off-site.
One of your most publicized conversions was with Roger Kelly. He was a Grand Dragon and Imperial Wizard of Maryland for the KKK. In your opinion, what was it about your relationship with him that made him leave the KKK?
I always conclude one thing, and that is that we all are human beings. And as such, we all want basically the same 5 things in our lives that anybody else wants. We all want to be loved. We all want to be respected. We all want to be heard. We want to be treated fairly. And we want the same things for our family as anybody else wants for their family. And I simply applied those 5 core values into the culture of white supremacy.
Stay with us, because when we come back, we'll chat more with Daryl about his experiences with former Klan members and if he believes they can be stopped. We'll be right back.
I'm Lindsey Granger. I'm a trained journalist. I've been doing this for 10 years, and I learned to extensively research. I've written a documentary. I describe myself as the host that will bring a fresh perspective to the panel. I think Tori and I might disagree.
Not a nice thing for the president to say.
Everyone's blowing out of proportion, but that's okay, because today we need that. DBL is a creative, fun, and fast-paced type of show. Who wouldn't want to be at DBL? I'm looking forward to joining the panel and getting into some fun, interesting, and intense conversations. But it's important today. We need to agree to disagree and have the dialogue. A lot of people watch TV and say, how am I represented? DBL is the answer to that question. I'm Lindsey Granger, and I hope to be your voice.
Welcome back to DBL. Before the break, we met Daryl Davis, who has worked for years trying to get members of the KKK to leave the Klan. Here's the rest of his moving story in today's DBL Spotlight. And again, we want to warn you, some of the images you're about to see may be triggering.
So Daryl, your meetings go beyond just KKK meetings. You've been to weddings and funerals. What's it like being in those places and people hate you just because of the color of your skin and they don't even know you? How do you stand there and take that and still move forward with a positive attitude?
You know, hurt people hurt people. People who are hurt want others to feel hurt. When you go to these kinds of things, study your opposition way in advance. Familiarize yourself with their position, their attitude, how they arrive there. Know who you are. Have your self-esteem and your ego in check. Because if you don't know who you are and you go to a place like that, they will tell you who you are, and you'll probably end up believing them.
But Daryl, I have to ask, and you touched upon it a little bit, and I know that a lot of our viewers are thinking this very same thing. Have you ever had to fear for your life during these meetings?
Yes, I have, because I've been attacked and I've had to engage in physical violence and put somebody in the hospital, put them in jail. But as I said, you know, those have been few and far between. Somebody just hates you as soon as you arrive. You've given them no reason other than the color of your skin. And sometimes it's just no stopping, you know, that mentality. Even one of them who I did fight with came back to me later and apologized.
Wow. I mean, at this point, it's fair to call you an expert, probably the world's leading expert in the Klan. So I feel very comfortable asking you this question. Can the Klan be stopped? And if so, how?
Listen, ignorance creates fear. We fear those things of which we are ignorant, the things we do not understand. If we do not keep that fear in check, that fear will escalate and create hatred because we hate the things that frighten us. If we don't check that hatred, the hatred escalates and creates destruction. And so what we do is we address the symptoms: destruction, hatred, fear. Forget about those things. The root cause of all of this is ignorance. If we cure the ignorance, there'll be nothing to fear.
Daryl, you are an absolute gift. What an honor it has been speaking with you today. But to our DBL Nation, we also want you to remember this isn't Daryl's full-time job. To your point, Daryl, you're actually an accomplished musician. So DBL Nation, check out his incredible music and visit his website, daryldavis.com. Daryl, there's not enough words to express our gratitude.
You did not disappoint, brother.
Thank you. Thank
Such
you.
a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you all.
We'll be right back.
You can hear
My
it with that
pleasure.
voice.
I know. Amazing.
Nation, my name is Jeff Schroeder, and I'm the host that's going to bring honesty to the panel. I think something most people might not know about me is that I actually met my wife on a reality show, and we've been together for 10 years and have 2 children now. What makes me different from the other hosts is I'll always try to see the other side. No matter what side I'm on, I want the audience to know that there is another side to the conversation and that I'm listening. The co-host that irritates me easily, Tori Shulman.
Was that the lamest thing I've ever done?
I wanted to, yeah.
Sadly, no. What makes Daily Blast Live different from other shows is that we bring honest opinions in all different walks of life. DBL is real, DBL is raw, DBL is honest.
You can hear
My
it with that
pleasure.
voice.